Thank you for tuning in to Moment of Truth. This is our initial show. This is truly an honor and a blessing to be able to come to you this evening. Before we start, as always, I would like to offer the opportunity for to call in and get a prayer, or if you would like to share your personal testimony of something that you may have accomplished or overcame because of the love of Christ. The phone number is 888-677-9673. Local, if you're here in Cuyahoga County, the number is 216-901-0933. Yes, give us a call. We would love to hear from you. Yes, today is November 6th. It is a very significant day in my life. First of all, it is the day my youngest daughter was born in 2017. She's a great bundle of joy. She's very energetic, very, very happy. Reminds me of my late father. She has a lot of his characteristics, so that is the first event. And last year, on November 6, 2018, I actually ran for office. I was living in the state of Alabama for the House of Representatives. It was a experience. It was a great time. We learned a lot. We did not win, but we did a lot of great things. A lot of the ideas that we had for bills and such and laws to be passed, they're being executed right now by other legislators in the state. So we know that we had a lasting footprint in the state of Alabama. But that time, it was not easy. I'm not going to say that it was easy. Actually, it was one of the most difficult experiences that I had in my life. I wouldn't have made it through without the love of Jesus Christ, without my faith. It actually humbled me more than I was, and made me realize that I need Christ more than I thought to get through that experience. For example, the campaign, not just for me, it ruined a lot of lives. There was a guy there. I don't really want to mention his name, but his wife actually committed suicide throughout the process. So, it is a very stressful time. I pray and wish him and his family the best, but those are some things that were happening that aren't brought to the forefront. Even the governor, she was running for office, and there was some nasty rumors about her and her personal life. I'm not sure if they were true or not, or just campaign talks that try to distract the person. But there were rumors about her being homosexual and things like that. So those were just some things that we kind of avoided. Even like I said, even though we did not win, I don't have any scars that are lasting like that, because I don't know how I would have dealt with any of those things, but the Lord puts us in a position that He knows that we can handle. But yeah, a little bit more about the election. We knocked on about maybe 8,000 doors. We did not receive much support, not financially, not anyway, no one, making calls for us. So it was basically, my beautiful wife, the one and only QNIBEE, and I had my children with me. We, every day we would get up and make a bunch of phone calls. We would go knock on doors. We would go to a lot of the meetings, it was a great experience, but it was a lot of sacrifice, and I definitely want to thank my wife who put up with all of that, put up with me, put up with the children. She held it together and was just kept it solid and kept her faith and kept her eye on the finish line. But yeah, throughout that time, there were people that were ripping down our campaign signs. As I stated before, I did not have a lot of money financially coming in from donations and contributions and such. So everything that we spent was money that we had saved. So we bought campaign signs and would hang them up. And then we would go back and look. A few days later, they were all tore down. Our opponent signs weren't tore down. So, you can kind of put two and two together to see the process and things that we were going through, especially on election day while we were out going to the different voting precincts. We would try to hit up each one for maybe an hour or two and kind of tell people about us. There were actually people that were threatening us because we were going against the norm. That district had been a Democrat-run district for the last 40 years by Mr. James Buskey prior. And, me being a Republican in my beliefs, I still have a love for all humanity, but just the way I believe in working hard and going out and doing it and not necessarily looking for a handout, but expressing that to a lot of the voters. A lot of people would get upset. They would like what we were saying until we told them what party we were. And then it was just completely, hatred and things like that. But I'm fine with that as long as we got to say what was necessary and our beliefs. Now, we did end up getting over 5,000 votes, I believe, or close to, give or take. And, we did not win, but we made it onto, the actual election day. Now, there were a total of, I believe, 8 other Democrats that were running, and we were the last two standing, so it was a great opportunity. The Lord really led us to get through that. We did not win because the Lord has something else planned. I would not be here this evening sharing this message with you, but I just wanted to start out telling you a little bit about myself and the significance of this date of November 6th. It's a great opportunity to come to you. But we have a nonprofit organization. It's called QNIBEE Farms Assembly of God. And first of all, I want to say we are not affiliated with any other assemblies of God. I know there are other churches all around, but we are completely independent. But as you heard in the introduction, we are just trying to do things right for the children of God, for those that love Christ. I would love for you to visit our website and check out, what we have going on, because we're going to be ramping up here really soon with the events and, just the message that we're putting out. The website is QNIBEE Assembly of God. So it's QNIBEE Farms Assembly of God.org. Yeah, we would love to have you check out the site, but our focus right now at this very moment, the first stage, is building homes here in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. Something different for people, if you have low income or, if you are a member, of course, we only want to work with members. There is a membership sign up on the website. It's not anything difficult. There's no money to be a membership. We just want you to be living a life for Jesus Christ. You know, it's on the website, QueenBeeFarmsAssemblyofGod.org. But I did want to read to you a few numbers and studies that I found online that I found interesting when I was preparing for the show. Um, the first thing I saw, it says an array of studies also suggests that violent crimes reduce neighborhood property values more than property crime does. Now, this is one of the reasons that we're doing what we're doing by building homes, is that we want to, first of all, reduce crime. But in order to reduce crime, you have to create other opportunities and other avenues for people to relieve stress. A lot of times when people do things and robbing and stealing and killing and all those ugly things, because they're bored. They don't have anything else to do. They can't find their calling in life. So that is the main reason that we're doing what we're doing. Another thing I found interesting is disadvantaged, segregated communities have experienced a large portion of national decline in violent crime, but remain disproportionately affected by high violent crime rates. In Cleveland, for instance, the absolute difference in violent crime between the most fifth of the neighborhoods and all the rest declined by 65%, meaning the 5 worst neighborhoods and the rest of the city decline in crime rates. But although the violent crime rates declined throughout the city, the distribution of violent crime remains the same in the communities initially with the most violence. So even though the crime rate has dropped significantly over the last 10 years or so throughout the city, but in those concentrated areas, the crime rate is the same. Now, I'm speaking of Cleveland, but this goes throughout the country, throughout the world, really. A lot of city officials and things like that, they build things like I know in Cleveland they have CMHA, but they have public housing. And then they overcrowd it. They will put 2,000 people living in an apartment building. They'll put 800 people living in one little square block. And then that is where most of the crime in the city takes place. Now, what we're planning to do is still give those same people opportunities. There are people that need the low-income housing. There are people that can't afford to pay rent somewhere else. You know, that's just is what it is. And being a child of God, you must look out for your brothers and sisters and give them a hand up. But we want to take those same people, give them opportunities, but we want to spread it throughout the city and eliminate the gang cultures. Gangs, a lot of times, they like to fester in one area, and then they like to spread out and go other places. But when you have that opportunity for them to act and kind of blend in, you know, it's easier for them to recruit members and just create violence and disruption all around them. So it's sort of like a infestation. You know, a lot of you know what I'm talking about. You've had roaches, you've had rats. If you don't do anything, they'll start having babies, and then they continue to grow, and then it's just out of control. So what we want to do is just stop it before it gets there. We want to help the children figure out different things to do with themselves. But yes, we are focused on actually creating opportunities for the members. Like I stated before, it isn't hard. It isn't hard to be a member. You can check out the website, that QueenBeeFarmsAssemblyofGod.org. And one of the last things that I saw that was pretty interesting was about the youth. Um, Neighborhoods of concentrated poverty and disadvantage can also create coercive sexual environments in which sexual harassment, molestation, exploitation, and violence against women and girls become accepted. These environments, which disproportionately affect adolescents of color, negatively affects children's development and can lead to long-term psychological stress and substance abuse. So a lot of times when we have children that are in those areas, living in those communities that are overpopulated, there's so much land throughout the city that there's so many opportunities, but it's just a model that they've had for a long time and they stick with it. But those children are being affected, even if they don't say anything. You know, like I just stated, the young girls they experiment with sex. A lot of times, family members that are around or neighbors that live next door, they molest the kids and they take advantage of them. A lot of times, the parents have been molested themselves, so they don't see anything wrong with it. I know that's sick to think about, but that is the reality of the world that we live in. So that is the reason that we are doing what we do. Um, right now, our goal and our focus is we've been speaking with other donators. Right now, our goal is $10 million, which will help us build 200 homes for families and for singles if they choose, which will also have a great community center, just great opportunities to do things with your mind, to get physically fit, to have an opportunity to create music and learn. We have financial courses. We're also working with some local banks, to teach our people things to do. It's not just people of color. It's everyone that we are focusing on. But I'm going to take a quick commercial break. We would love to take your calls, and you can give us a call at 888-677-9673. Thank you. No calls? Okay. Thank you. We are back from the brief commercial break. Yeah, I was just taking a second explaining who we are, QNIBEE Farms Assembly of God. It's been a long process. It's been about 8 years creating this opportunity. Now, when we started this process, it was the Lord came to me. I just kept having the same dream. I just um, kept daydreaming at work. Now I had a job that I eventually let go that I was at. I was making pretty good money, about 50 grand a year. That's pretty much middle class right there in the middle. But um, I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. I was going there, but it was taking up all my time. And we had this dream, my wife and I. We had the same vision, just kept coming to both of us, and we just started going after it. Now it wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. You're never going to go straight through. You're never going to go through without any obstacles. There were, plenty of obstacles. It was, like I stated, it was over 8 years, and we're here now. But there were a lot of bumps in the road and a lot of setbacks. But yes, I want to take a second, and I want to get together my final truths, and we'll be back and close the show. Okay, those are my beautiful daughters. Final truth today comes from Matthew chapter 10, verse 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. Now, that verse is stating that you have opportunities. The Lord gives you a choice. What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to sit back and listen to what he has for you? Or are you focused on pleasing man, pleasing your brother, pleasing, friends and family? Now at Judgment Day, it doesn't matter if you made someone here happy. That's not saying going out your way and, trying to hurt people. But at the same time, the Lord will give you a calling. If you haven't heard that calling, you need to go somewhere. You need to sit down and you need to be quiet and listen. Everyone has that opportunity for a calling. It is an opportunity for everyone. I've had opportunities where I could have been discouraged and stopped. My own flesh and blood, when I revealed to them my plan, laughed at me in my face and said, "You have a dream. Dreams never happen." So, it was kind of disheartening. I felt some type of way and spoke to my wife about it, but I kept going and stayed focused. You all have to stay focused. Do not rely on anyone. Don't be discouraged if you come up with a plan and no one helps you. Don't worry about it. Just stay focused. The Lord will provide opportunities that are necessary. You may not see it right this second, but it's going to be an opportunity for the Lord to show you what you're doing is the right way. Now that was, like I stated, that was Matthew chapter 10, verse 22. And I just thank you all for listening today. And don't forget to check out the website, QNIBEE Farms Assembly of God.org. You can, there's opportunities on there for you to sign up for membership. There's also a way you can donate. You can help us achieve our goals. We want to start here in Cleveland, but this is not it. We set up the nonprofit so that we can act internationally. We got a lot of people listening, got a lot of Facebook friends all over the country, got a lot of people in Alabama still, people over in Africa. I love you all, and just thank you and God bless. shoot.
Oh, yeah, that was
I didn't say nothing about we ain't gonna be on next week. I forgot.
Sure you did.
That's all right.
My bad. I totally forgot.
You could tell them right now.
Oh, we got a few
talk.
minutes?
I can turn your mic on. You
Okay.
have like probably 20 seconds.
Okay. Before I go, I forgot to mention we are preempted next week. There is a sporting game, so we will not be back until November 20th at 8 p.m. each and every Wednesday. Thank you.
Whew. Good job.
My time go quick.
It was so fast. I was like, whoa. The clock was like, boom, boom,
I could have talked for like 3 more hours.
Good job.
Appreciate it, Zach.
Yeah,
Man.
no problem.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely.
very
You got
nice.
what you call it? Oh,
Yeah,
you got it?
I
Okay.
got it.
Yep.
Just give it back to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I would, next time you talk to Josh,
Yes.
I would let him know.
Put your hands
I'm
on the
sure he'll
glass.
do it because he just forgot today, but I just played it off of a
Oh,
different
to add
computer.
it. Uh-huh.
But you want to actually add it to like the log so it can be put on
Log.
the
Okay.
actual log itself.
Oh,
Josh
yeah,
will probably
yeah,
know what to
we'll-
do, but
I'll get with him sometime soon.
Okay.